Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you.
You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome in episode 88 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. Coach Espo's in the house, and I feel like we're about to play the Masters, Coach.
Coach, it's been a minute. Been a minute right here. I feel like I've been on one of those hiatuses from, we've taken a, that golfer that took like 2 years off and is making his way back.
Feels a long time.
We're like Tiger Woods coming back for the Masters.
It's even better. We're coming back better and stronger.
A lot of action going on. Summertime, a lot of things going on. People's all over the place.
Vacation directors, vacationing.
That's just excuses when it comes out to it. But, we're back, baby. We're back. Here we are. We're back, and it's one of the best times of the year. About to crank up.
We're back for the biggest week of the year in the prep baseball. Hell, around the country, Coach, for high school uncommitted players. But it's more than that. We've got feels like 80 teams down there that are representing South Carolina. And then an event coming up a weekend after that. Big times ahead for little old South Carolina.
Big times. And you know what? We can even rewind, right? I mean, we had two big time Team Carolina trials. We had our border battle. We had numerous scout days, and let's go back to all those. In every single one of those, we had players that were invited to this event, to the upcoming future games, the junior future games, the senior future games, along with our top prospect games coming up. So let's be honest. Like, people always go, "Oh, the events are the events, the events, the events." No, they mean something, and they mean something for us. We had a couple players that were at our first Team Carolina trials right out the gate, and they took some time out of their day to come to it in between tournaments real quick, and boom, one's coming. A couple of them are coming to the future games. One's coming to the senior future games. I mean, it's just it's big time, and we can't ever speak highly enough about our events leading into it. And then the same thing with our border battle. I mean, that was a premium event with us in North Carolina with big time talent. And I know, just speaking for us, we know the guys that we invited to both our futures and senior future games, along with North Carolina as well. So, and then to top it off, our last main event was the Team Carolina Trials in Columbia, which was our biggest to date open ID event we've ever had here in the state of South Carolina. So with 70 some kids at it. So big time. We appreciate all the guys coming out to it. We filled a bunch of our roster spots with the junior futures and also this future. And we also had one player that was going to be coming down to the senior future stuff, but
It's commitment time.
It's commitment time. So he wound up making a move and committing to a college. So we appreciate him. We're looking forward to watching him hit some tanks and throw some gas, but it happens.
Happens to the best of us. But those events we had, Coach, you said it led to these invitees to these invite games with the junior futures, and we'll kind of start off with junior futures. Obviously, now you're going to release the whole roster here, as we'll release that on the social media platforms as we move in to the week. But junior futures, senior futures all really get underway on Wednesday, Coach, as we all head to Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah, I mean we're rolling, right? We go our regular futures team workout on Wednesday at 12. Juniors work out at 1:30. Seniors work out, I think it's like 6, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there. So, we started already today, releasing some of the roster for the future games team. We're gonna have the junior futures getting out here soon, and we'll have some of the seniors a little tricky because some of those kids can commit. So we got to be we got to be a little tricky releasing some of those rosters. Not that we're not you know we don't want to put that stuff out there, but some of those kids can still commit or not commit going into it. So we're more able to release the futures and the junior future game rosters rolling into that. But we've already started today. We put out some infield and outfielders already for the futures game team.
Hey, watch out, little South Carolina. And as we start here with the junior futures, Coach, a top 4 team last year. The question is, can they do it again?
Hey, timeout. They're giving away some stuff this year.
I saw that. Why couldn't we get stuff like this? Giving away Oakleys.
They're giving away some. So they're also giving away, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to give it away in our call earlier today.
Championship.
I'm like, yeah, juniors are giving away Oakleys for the winners, for the staff and the players, and they're also giving away a championship belt.
Hey, here's the funny thing: if we win that and get Oakleys, we're going to have like 35 staff members now.
Yeah, everybody's going to be coming out of the woodwork. Hey, I'm part of it. I'm part of it. We're going to be over here selling them. But I'm going to wear the championship belt every single day.
To events.
No, just every day. I'm going to drop my kids off at school wearing the belt. And then when somebody says something, I'll just pull it off and smash it over their head like old school.
Player of the game gets like a $50 gift card for future.
Yeah.
And if you win a category, a stat category,
you can have top exit velo. Yeah, I mean,
where's Gunnar Jordan when you need him?
The gun show, baby. The gun show, dropping tanks. But they're up in the ante with a bunch of prizes for the guys, and they're getting more gear, more uniforms, more swag stuff than before. So, right, every year it gets better and better and better for the players, which it should be, right? It's a premier event. I mean, across the country, and there's really nothing like it. And these, that's what makes it neat for these juniors, right? Obviously, the recruiting rules changed a couple of years ago, and right, I mean, 2 years ago we had college coaches all over the place. We had kids committing out of our junior futures team. Well, last year when that rule was different, we still had a couple coaches go down there and watch some stuff, but obviously no one's committing out of it. But you kind of get the feel of what they're going to prepare themselves for, right? And the juniors are down there playing against great competition, right? You play against great states over the course of 4 days, and you play a bunch of, uber talented kids, but you get to see the atmosphere that's going to roll on and hopefully your future moving forward in there.
It's big time.
Big time. And it's amazing to me how some people, and this is right, we've talked about this before. It's still the education piece that we have to still produce out there for the players, the coaches, the parents, and the state of what this event can provide for the kids that are out there, the kids and families. I mean, it's second to none. There's I don't care. I don't care what team you play on. That doesn't matter. You get an opportunity to come down here for this week. There's not another event like it in the country. Whether you want to stay in state or go out of state or whatever you want to do, academically, high academic institutions, any of that stuff, it has no bearing. You have it all at your fingertips. All you get. So I told one parent when they were asking me about it, I go, the event will perform. Now, whether your son performs or not is going to be the different story. The event will perform for you. So it's incredible. And that's not just because I work for the company. That's why every college coach in the country is there.
Coach, well, it's great, wonderful, perfect.
Erroneous.
the little old South Carolina boys and junior futures will play Arkansas, Mississippi, and Indiana. Indiana, a team that won it last year, Coach. And we know with Arkansas and Mississippi, you're getting the deep South, Coach. It's going to be a tough 3 games there, and they're all early games, early wake-up calls.
Early wake-up calls. For the players, it's going to be fine. For the staff, we're going to go early wake-up calls after late-night games for the older
And then we're going to go
boys.
take a nap, so don't bother us between the hours of 12 to 3.
But yeah,
PBSC will be out.
the juniors, right? We go 10:15, 8 a.m., 10:15, and then we'll see what happens after that in the little playoff part. But yeah, we got a tough schedule with some good matchups, and I feel like every year we've gone through this first part where we've played somebody that you go, oh Lord, how's this kid? This kid should be playing with the older boys. Yes, this guy shouldn't be over here in this team, but that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it, the environment for these young guys to see what else is out there. Right, a lot of these I get it, a lot of these guys still play on some of these higher end travel teams and kind of travel around a little bit, but you still don't really see what's out there.
No.
Our guys are gonna play a team from Indiana. They're gonna play a team from and you're not only just playing a team from Indiana, you're playing a lot of the better players from that area, that state. That's what makes it neat for them. And you go to represent your state. That's the piece that's important to me. You're representing your state.
That's the
Little
fun
old
part.
South Carolina. Little old South Carolina gets to go down there. That's
No one
what
expects us.
no. These next few weeks is big, and we'll touch on another one here we got coming up in a little while. You're representing your state down here, and this is the first time for the futures we are our own South Carolina
Little
team.
old South Carolina. We'll see how that fares. But staying with the juniors here, Coach, I'm gonna throw a question out. You're gonna be unprepared.
Every day of my life.
One guy you're excited to see junior futures.
Ooh, we were just digging through, put out a story today, or a couple stories today off the Rising Stars event the other day, and the one name that kept coming up at a bunch of our the stats that I was digging through the other day is the Brian Eblin from our event the other day, and I want to watch him perform in the games to see does the gameplay match up with the statistics, and I'm gonna go yes, right? Especially at a younger age, you're not just everything was like I had to stop putting his name up there and doing some of the events because I'm like I'd have him at the top for everything. I wouldn't give anybody else anything, but his name was at the top of like everything. So Brian Evelyn, I'm ready to watch him perform and play over the week and to see how that matches up.
Coach, I'm going to stick with Jones Wilhite from Aiken.
Oh boy, watch out now!
Big physical kid, right? He walks up, you're like, there's no way this kid's a rising star. Turns out he is. Pretty good kid too. I think what is he? 6'4", Coach? He's around that.
Hey, we're gonna bring in some big boys too this year. We've been doing that. We got Johnson coming in there. He's big. Yeah. He's a big kid. We'll see if his hands are any bigger than his dad.
Tim Wynn.
Tim Wynn's a big boy. I mean, so we got some size. We're gonna try to drill. We're gonna try to hit some homers. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We got the Clemson contingent rolling around over there too.
We got my Clemson boys are showing up at the Lake Point.
Watch out
on Wednesday morning. Now, before we get to the futures, we'll kind of hop here to senior futures. First year for this, Coach. Really.
Yeah, it really is. There was a deal in the past with the Southeast Senior Games that we'd kind of run kind of a same time frame, at least a 1-day deal down there, and that kind of not fell apart. But obviously, with these new recruiting rules that have come apart, there's a lot of really, really talented uncommitted players that are out there, and this year there's 12 teams that are going to be represented between all the states, and we're matched up with, or partnered up, comboed up with, it's us, Florida, and Georgia that are combining the team for, I think we're called Team Southeast. And our workout will be, everybody's workout's going to be on that Wednesday night. It'll be 6 teams on one side, 6 teams on the other field. and going out. And I think all of our teams, our games are every night, like 7:15 every night they would play. But this one, to me, this event's gonna grow and become huge, right? As it went on, you're like, okay, I think this is a good idea. Let's see how the roster builds. And I kind of felt, and like everybody else felt, we are going to send out a bunch of invites. Kids are going to commit. Kids are going to be. Well, as the weeks got closer, more people kept reaching out, wanting spots, and a lot of kids deserved spots on this roster, and a lot of kids had come to some events and ultimately earned and deserved the spot. But with a combo roster with us, Georgia, and Florida, you have limited amount of spots that you can get on there. So you know, it was a tough spot to get on those rosters. So when the first, I think only one request went out that we invited where somebody said no, but he said no because he said he was going to commit, and he actually committed. So, but everybody else said yes, and then we had one that said yes and is just committed. So it was a very roster to build with the 3 different states, but it's a very talented roster, and I think this one's gonna grow and grow and grow, and I have a feeling we're all gonna have our own states as we roll, especially how this recruiting world is moving out there in today's day and age. But this one's gonna be fun. I know there's gonna be a lot of coaches that are gonna be floating around and have some eyeballs on these guys and seeing what's happening out there.
I'm excited, Coach. We get to see some top prospects from South Carolina participate as that last chance as those college coaches are trickling around here. So now the question remains: we got Alexa over here, and she says the air quality is not good. Anyway, player to watch here in the senior future games.
Coach, I'm gonna kind of go a twofold. I'm gonna go 2 guys. I'm gonna go my catchers. I'm gonna go the 2 catchers here. We got a couple arms and a couple two-way guys. The one guy I was gonna say just committed, so I'm not gonna say him, obviously, and I'm not gonna say his name. But I'm gonna go my 2 catchers as long as they don't commit. But we're gonna go, and the only 2 catchers we got on the team are out of this great state of South Carolina. We're gonna go Macon Leopard and Samuel Schwab, that we've both seen quite a bit in events and high school games. They're both very tooled out, both very talented players that can do some things. And for us, they're going to have every ounce of opportunity to show the world what they got, being the only 2 catchers on this team. So I think those 2 guys are going to really give a chance to get out there and show the world what they have over that week. We all know Samuel's going to be able to showcase the world out there. I was joking with somebody the other day, whoever's throwing to him when we're doing the catcher pops in the workout, better make sure he's offline enough or he will get decapitated with his throws down to say how hard he throws the ball. So, Macon, I know he's been swinging the bat well all summer. So it's going to be fun to watch those guys kind of get after it behind the plate, and it'll be fun to see that they're the only 2 catchers. As long as, knock on wood, for our sake, they stay uncommitted. For them, they commit, best of luck to them. But for us, so we don't have to scramble real quick. But those would be the 2 for me right now.
Coach, you went with 2 catchers. I'm going 2 arms because I couldn't really. I think there's 2 arms that have a chance. And you start with Gavin McDonald. Kid has kind of climbed uphill as we've seen him throughout the years. The fastball lively at 91. He's got a chance to turn some heads there at the senior future games. And another guy, Coach, he's been riding the roller coaster all year. But as you know, he has a chance to be really good, and that's Dawson Sifrin. When he's in the zone, it's a legit arm. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs against some uber talented guys at senior futures. And if he can stay in the zone, Coach, kids might have a tough time hitting him. We'll see. Watch out. 2 catchers, 2 arms. Poor position, guys.
No love. I mean, we can talk about them all, but we can't just.
Yeah, we can't. And now the big boys, Coach. It's finally here. The first South Carolina Futures Games team is coming to Lake Point, coming to town in about, what are we, a week away, Coach?
We're less than a week away, Coach.
We're less than a week away.
Coach, we'll be in the middle of our first game at this point in time.
And I will be ecstatic.
We'll be in the middle of the first game, whipping up on Team North Carolina right now.
Oh yeah. Y'all thought content's been good over the past couple of years. Just wait till we whip up on North Carolina.
That Gatorade bath on Coach Drew's head is going to be
I might run circles around B Hall. But Coach, we finally put together a South Carolina team. We're ready to roll.
first time ever little old South Carolina gets their own team. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. In the past, right, we've always had, 8 to 10 kids somewhere in there, just depending on how the roster fell that year. This year we're bringing 19 guys down there, and we were probably going to have 21, but we had a couple guys go down with injuries late in the summer. So no need to. And those were arms, couple two-way guys, but really no need to kind of push and extend. You want to make sure the guys get enough at bats, position player wise. You don't want to take too many position players to where they're not. They're missing out. They're getting less at bats. They're not getting enough innings in the field. But it's to me, it's a fun group. I think we got a couple arms out there that I think are going to shock some people that are going to go, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy?" Like always. Happened last year with Fowler. I think Landon Fowler. A couple guys go, "Who's he? Who's he?" Yeah, I think we had probably the biggest winner of the event last year. Our boy riding over there shortstop. So I think little old South Carolina is going to turn some heads some more. And I know we have a few guys, and that's we touched on it when we talked to the group earlier. The good thing for what this event is, I think we have a few guys that are ball players, that it allows them over the course of a few days for coaches to evaluate them as ball players and not just a showcase guy. I think we have a couple guys that can really showcase as well, but
Yes, we do.
I think we got some guys that can really play baseball and are going to be able to allow themselves to showcase. We got some guys that got a chance to be 6'5", 6'6" runners. We got some guys that are going to go, "Who's this guy? Where did this guy come from?" Which I think's neat. And that's obviously changing a lot in today's day and age of the new wave of recruiting. But we got some people that are nobody really kind of knows about, and there's gonna be some guys that they know about already, but there's some that they're gonna come out of nowhere and they're gonna have a bunch of people knocking down their doors.
Okay, it's the best time. What are we? Best players in the state. At that point. And you got to find some diamonds in the rough as we have over the years. Who knows who's going to be that this year, Coach? We can elaborate on this one a little bit more as we have 19 guys on this team. Players to watch.
So we had to send a little thing out, to our national guys to shoot or hunt, to kind of do a thing, and we kind of touched on. I think we had 4 or 5 national ranked guys. I'm probably going to miss somebody or go over it. I'm trying to look at the list real quick, but William Cutshaw's ranked up there really high. Sean, I think, is ranked up there real high. Ethan Alfion's up there real high. Banks Wickersham's ranked up there real high. And those guys are, I'm going to kind of leave them, for the sake of this, I'm going to leave them off in their own world. Not that they're not going to be guys to watch and make moves, but they're kind of already on the paper already. You pull up the rankings of the national stuff, they're already on there. I think I'm going to go a couple guys. I'm going to go back to a catcher here because I got my catcher at heart. I'm going to go Luke Young. I'm going to go another outfielder here. I'm going to go Charlie Scott. And then I'm going to throw one more arm out here. I'm going to throw an arm. But Luke Young, I think, is going to be a guy that I think maybe I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna
I
let you.
think you're gonna take
No,
my arm.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm gonna let you talk about this one. But Luke Young's a catcher, right? Who catch and throw has been getting better and getting better and getting better. Came out a couple years ago to our top prospect games in the middle of lightning and rainstorms and the conga line going out, and we didn't get a full chance to watch him play because of the weather, right? But we got a chance to watch him work out. But he keeps improving, right? And defensively, he matches up there. But the
Frame's
bat
gotten
keeps
better too.
getting, yeah,
The body, yeah.
yeah, everything keeps growing in the right direction. So I'm looking for him to pop. Charlie Scott. Charlie came out to, for me, right around the corner. I get a chance to watch him at AC Flora here. On a young team as a sophomore this year, played out there. But he came out to our border battle. Him and Roper Winsky, both teammates here in AC Flora. And Charlie runs a 6'5" 9, was it?
It was yeah.
And it looked like he was jogging. And we all kind of stopped and go, what'd that say? So Charlie's got that look, obviously 6'5", say he runs anywhere between a 6'5" 9 to a 6'7", somewhere in there. Like you put up good speed, swings the bat. I think he's got a chance to kind of blow up in there. And then my arm. I'm going Logan Satter. I'm going Logan Satter on this one. And this is a neat one. So, and for a lot of people out there that always kind of go like, why do you do these things? What's going on? But we had a scout day, right? We had a scout day with Legacy Baseball. It was part of the Bigger Than Baseball tournament they run. They host up there in the beginning of June, I think it was, middle of June, whatever it was. It was in the middle of our 4-day period of the 2 border battles and 3 scout days in a row. And Logan pops on the mound and goes 88 to 90. And I'm like, coach, come here. What are we doing here? Who's this guy? Right? And comes out and he's like, well, he's a shortstop at Clover, he didn't really pitch much. And I'm like, well, we're inviting this guy to the Futures game. What? And we're inviting him. I think he's, I don't know, 6'2" or whatever, good frame, 170, very projectable and everything. And to me, it's kind of an easy athletic frame that you kind of look up and you go, the kid's going to throw mid-90s one day with these. So I'm kind of, for me, that's kind of another guy that's kind of out there in that realm, right? He played Clover High School, mainly played shortstop all year. So who is he? What is he? Well, he's rotating his way into being a pitcher and is going to throw some bullets. And we're gonna have hopefully have a power arm righty that's coming out of there.
Coach, it could be really good.
It could be, but that kind of goes back to the point why we do a lot of these scout days and a lot of these things, right? An event for lower cost for these players, for these events to go in there and bang, there it goes. Kid comes out of nowhere for us. We see him. And now we have a chance to, he has a chance to go put himself out there in front of the country to better himself.
Coach, I feel like I'm about to be like Austin Smith when I start talking in a minute. As I talk about players to watch. I'm going all pitchers, Coach.
All pitchers.
I mean, how? That's weird for me, right?
Yeah. It is usually no, because you usually go pitchers because your radar gun's a +5.
So you're telling me they want me to put my radar gun up at Lake Point this week?
Yeah, they're gonna eliminate the TrackMan and put up here.
I gave mine to Schnabel so he can get some hotter ratings.
His son is now throwing 96.
Oh, I'm gonna start off with a former junior future coach, Will Fulcher. He's back in the future games. Coach, did get to see him pitch earlier in the summer. At 90, 91 at that frame, coach, pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was at junior futures. He was 84, probably about 83, 84 in that area.
Yeah.
So he's made a big jump. He struggled with some command in that high school season, but looked good early in the summer. Excited to see what he can do at the future games. I don't know which one to go next, Coach. We're going to go, it ain't easy, boy. You knew this was coming. I thought you were going to take from me. Walker Cox.
I was going to take him, but I knew you were going to. I knew you were going to take him.
Well, see, you can talk a little bit too, Coach. We saw him come up, and I had seen him before. You'd seen him before. Didn't see him really pitch any in high school season. But the size of the kid, you're like, okay, this kid looks the part. He's going to fill out a uniform. And then got on the bump, Coach, and it was pretty damn good, right?
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Rolls up Team Carolina trials, and we're like, it's one of those things. I think I remember sitting. It was registration popped up. Walker Cox. I think I screenshot it, sent it to you. Like,
yep,
yes.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy. Whew, it was and it was easy for him though. It was real easy. I get it was a bullpen that day, but it was very easy for him.
I think he's got a chance to hit a 9, Coach, with some adrenaline pumping. With 100 coaches sitting back there.
Yes, with that arm slot and that size, easy now. That's it. Hey, there's some kids it's hard to project. That one ain't hard to project.
No. He could be the next Fowler, Coach. Watch out. And then I'll go see him in high school season. He'll be throwing 98 on my gun. Walker, I'll see you in high school season. Look out. The next arm here, Coach, I think I originally told you about him. We got him to Team Carolina trials. Bryce Neal. Coach, first time I saw him, raved about him. I think I talked about him on the podcast. Came to Team Carolina trials. More of a 3/4-ish slot with some deception there. Fastball is going to be 85, 87, may touch an 88, but that adrenaline kicks in. You never know. But tough to hit nonetheless. There's movement on the fastball at all times, and they had good command, even though it was just a bullpen.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you talk with his high school coach, talk to Coach Stoss. I mean, it's up there at Catawba Ridge. I mean, he was he was one of their main bullpen guys, their back end guys for. I know they kind of the season ended a little earlier for him than they want, but one of the more talented teams in the state, and I don't. His numbers were like video game numbers. Nobody hit him. Nobody squared him up. Nobody scored any runs off him. I mean, and for a young guy to pitch in those meaningful innings with that talent around him, I mean, that means something, and to fit in there. So he'll be a fun one to get down there and watch him carve some guys up. But
I think we'll throw him against North Carolina so he can put up video game.
I've unfortunately already made the rotation, and he's not on that one. So
Coach, he's ready to roll on Saturday.
We'll have him cut up Maryland while we're at it.
Oh, we'll cut Maryland up. And my other guy's throwing Saturday. Look at that. We're just going to cut Maryland up. Poor guys. They don't even know what's coming. Well, North Carolina, they get it ain't easy. That's all.
Yeah, it ain't easy.
Hey, Easley fans, I need a It Ain't Easy shirt so I can wear it for Lake Point on Thursday against North Carolina as Walker pitches. To make sure we have that ready to roll. Coach, we could talk about this whole entire roster. As we know, very competitive, very talented as they take the field on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have some guys that, are going to be kind of bouncing around and playing some different positions because, we're going to try to put them in their best spots to showcase themselves the best they can, but we're going to kind of move them around and also kind of give some different looks. I mean, let's be honest, you go off into college and, you say you're a shortstop. Well, what if all of a sudden third base or left field's open and coach comes up and says, no, I don't play. I'm a shortstop. Well, that's your own damn fault. But we're going to give some guys, kind of, they deserved to be on this team for how they've performed, over the high school season, over their, the summer circuit, over our events, and you just got to be able to fit them in there into a roster, to make it work. And the good thing is they're athletic enough and they can all swing the bat and play some things. So we're going to be able to bounce them around and go out there and let these guys kind of get after it. But I'll tell you, it's going to be fun to watch these guys get after it in front of an environment that is second to none. That is second to none. And if you don't believe it, just follow the Twitter sphere out there. Follow the GoPros.
Coach,
Follow.
the content may be top 3 in the country when it comes from South Carolina from the future games.
I mean, I'm sorry. I get there's a lot of things that are out there that people are proud of and love to do, but from a recruiting standpoint, if you get a chance to do, whether it's with us or another state or whatever it is, most people aren't probably listening to us from another state, but so therefore us. But you get an opportunity to do this event. You should never like go, I don't know, I got something else to do. Like, no. Like, then the recruiting is not important when it comes down to it. I get there's other things that comes up or a family situation or whatever it is, but you know, I will kids that are coming to this event, more so one that is tight with a prominent college coach in this state. And that college coach told his dad, he goes, I don't care. He goes, I wouldn't care if the thing costs $3,000. Your son needs to go to it. It doesn't cost $3,000. It only costs $500. But he said if it $499 to be exact. But he just said if it costs $3,000, your son needs to go to that. It is worth every penny that's out there for the event. So it's second to none when it comes down to it. I know there's a lot of other things that are also great out there, and you get to do this and you get to do that. But when it comes down to producing or performing in front of all these schools, there's not another one out there.
Coach, and guess what? We get Josh Jackson back.
That might be the most important.
Hey, and Landon Fowler has told me he's coming too to come support us and help us. So watch out.
We'll put him to work.
They're coming from the bushes to help us.
That's 2 guys in the past 2 years coming back to help.
Hey, it means something. It means more.
Yeah, it just means more. It just means more.
Hey, we're ready to roll.
Right. The other cool thing, you look across our roster, right, and we got a player down from Hilton Head. We got guys from here in the Midlands. We got guys in the upstate. We got guys down in Charleston. We got guys up, we got private school kids. We got, public school. We kind of got them all. So we've kind of encompassed and try to scour the state the best we can. I mean, do we hit every single one? No, we're going to miss. We're going to do something. Now, as we keep moving on this one where there's no committed kids moving forward, that'll be a little bit different going across it. But right now, we've tried to we try to make sure we get them all going across the board. But I will tell you this one too. This is the second 99% of this player they've come to an event.
Coach, we're the best recruiters in the state.
99% of these players have come to an event. Only one is because he's new to the area. He's moved into the state. He went to events in another state, but he moved to the state, so he's new to the state. But every player has come to an event. How about that?
It's incredible.
That means something. So we'll keep this thing rolling.
Now, Coach, hey, make sure you're following all the social media accounts as that Future Games, Junior Future Games, Senior Future Games kicks off on Wednesday with the workouts. A lot of content going to be rolling out. We'll probably pop in for a podcast every once in a while with some maybe live interviews with some kids as we get to that point. We'll see how that rolls. But there is another huge event coming up that first weekend of August, Coach, right before beautiful college football gets going. It's the Super Sophomore Games, Coach.
Coach, right
First
after,
time.
right? First time ever, right? So we've always had the junior futures, and then you got the futures. Well, what's been that middle area, right? You've kind of missed that rising sophomore class. So, this is the first year we've done kind of a so-called national regional big event, right? We've obviously encompassed all those grad years into our state events, whether it's our top prospect games coming up here in a few weeks, or a month. Yeah, a month, almost a month to the day. Coming up in the beautiful College Charleston where we get the great soundtrack. But so this is the first time we're doing this. So the Super Sophomore Games for us this year is going to be held at Wake Forest University in High Point up in North Carolina.
Out of bombs.
And it's going to be from us all the way up to New York, Maine, all that in New England area up there. So we're going to have 9 different states rolling in there. So on that Friday afternoon, we're going to start workouts. It's going to be Friday is going to be all workouts. So us in North Carolina are going to go first, and then the farthest teams away are going to go last. We're going to play 2 games on Saturday, and then a game on Sunday and go home. But again, it's another way for the players in that class to represent their state and show what they got against the other teams up and down the East Coast. And then this is something that's grown across the country. They're having a Midwest one. They're having, a Deep South one. This thing's continuing to grow. But for us, we're playing, teams up and down the East Coast, and everybody's going to have their own team and come down there and represent and go. But it's a neat event to where players are going to come in. They're going to get 2 different jerseys. They're going to get the gear. They're going to get the hats. They're going to get an opportunity to represent little old South Carolina and go out there and perform with the best players in the state against the best players from other states, which, that's what you want, right?
And this is the team that finished in the Final Four of the Junior Futures, and we've added a little more pieces to it and still not finished.
Yeah, we are positionally, we're about done with it. We're trying to add a few more arms.
Nope, can't hear you anymore, Coach. Coach Espo has left the building. Oh. Technical difficulties. This is what we get for having
Technical.
You're back. We're good.
Sorry, going back, rewind. Positionally, we're about done with our roster with the position players. I think we are done. We have one more catcher that's getting ready to sign up, and we're done there. We're just trying to add a few more arms into this one. We want to, we're playing 3 games, 21 innings. Want to make sure it lines up. We have enough guys to go into it, but we've already got players in the state already signed up. So, we got, we just one player was going to sign up, but he wound up making the Team USA deal. So obviously he's going to do that. So we've already got, some of the top players in the state that have already signed up. So it's, to me, I get it. It's another event in the back end of the summer when you've been running ragged across the summer circuit. But again, it's a chance for you to go out there and represent your state, playing against premier competition in premier environments. You get to go play in, Wake Forest, got a tremendous facility. And for those that hadn't been to High Point or High Point University, I mean, phenomenal facilities and a phenomenal campus. So we'll go up there and have a good couple of days and work out and play some games and kind of finish the summer on a high note with our national events with that. But I'll tell you one thing, the people that are kind of up in there and don't know what this is about, go check that thing out and see the teams that you're going to play and the other talented players that you're going to get. These are going to be the guys that a lot of these players are going to be rotating into that futures game team.
That's an early tryout.
It's an early trial for the future games. So the guys that go, no, I don't like your events. Maybe we don't like you for the future games either. Sorry, we can.
Oh, here we go. We got to get Coach off now. Obviously, Coach, it's going to be a fun event, and we'll kind of break down that one as we finish up with those future games. This will be we're 2 weeks away from previewing that event with players to watch as well. So stay tuned for that. The podcasts are now back. We'll see you. Guess we'll see you again next week. In the middle of us with our souls and feet burnt multiple times. So stay tuned to those social media accounts. as we release when that podcast is going to kind of happen, because we don't know, you don't know, we'll figure it out. Coach Espo, you got anything to add here?
I don't. I'm just fired up, ready to roll. Follow our stuff. Hey, guys that are out there, we'll put something out too on social media. So the people out there in the great state of South Carolina that want to watch and see what this thing's about, you can stream the future games that are out there down there in Lake Point. So we'll put something out on the social media world as well, to where you can hop on there and watch some of the games that are out there. If you guys want to watch some of these talented players from South Carolina, see what they got.
Highly recommend that. So that's going to do us for episode 88. Stay tuned for episode 89. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it'll be sometime next week. So from all of us here at Prep Baseball South Carolina, we hope you have a great week.